Irish State School students received a special visit from the Mayor of Vignacourt in France today. Stephane Ducrotoy presented the pupils with a gift to symbolise the region's relationship with the French town. Vignacourt was a place of refuge for soldiers during World War I. The school is involved in a tribute program and sent almost 400 condolence crosses to France earlier this year.
Each child wrote their own special short message on the cross, or for the younger ones, they simply placed a fingerprint on their particular cross before the crosses were implanted in the lawn that's before us now, surrounding this memorial, and in readiness for Anzac Day dawn service earlier this year. The following day, they were collected and sent to your village, where your local students placed one at the headstone of every Australian grave. We as a community would be grateful if you'd take back to your school our sincere appreciation for that noble gesture.
Good evening.
Bonsoir à tous.
Nice to meet you.
Je suis ravie de vous rencontrer ce soir.
Alors, my name is Stephane Ducrotoy.
Mon nom est Stephane Ducrotoy.
Donc, je suis le maire de la commune de Vignacourt, comme on vous a dit.
I'm the mayor of Vignacourt in Picardie in France.
Village de Picardie en France. Ah oui, traduction avant. De 2500 habitants.
There's 2,500 residents in Vignacourt in France.
Et ils se joignent tous à moi parce qu'ils sont très surpris que je suis parti en avion.
They all join us to say hello to everybody here in Bagara. Surprised that I took the flight for such a long journey.
C'est bon? Tout à l'heure, j'étais avec les enfants de l'école de Baccarat. Hein.
Just before we were at Bagara State School.
Donc je vais vous dire ce que je leur ai dit, c'est qu'il y a quelques semaines, je n'avais pas de passeport.
Few weeks ago, I didn't have a passport.
Parce que j'ai jamais eu besoin de passeport, parce que je n'ai jamais quitté la France.
Because I never left France.
Alors l'Australie, c'est très loin, vous avez un pays très loin. J'ai pris sur moi, mais il fallait bien pour tous ceux qui ont sacrifié leur vie à une époque pour Vignacourt.
It's a very, very long journey, but it was really important for us, and especially for me and the resident of Vignacourt, because in the memory of all the diggers.
Voilà. Et puis pour Donna et Michael, ils font tellement de choses sur Vignacourt et je leur devais bien ça, quoi.
And it was as well a way to say thank you to Donna and Michael for everything they have done to create this bond and relationship.
Oui. Et comme je disais tout à l'heure, mon épouse est venue avec moi pour me tenir la main parce que j'avais très peur de l'avion.
So he thanks his wife for supporting him because he's very scared of flying and taking a plane.
Donc ma femme et moi-même sommes profondément honorés d'être en Australie et de participer aux commémorations du souvenir de la Première Guerre mondiale.
My wife and myself are really, it's a real honor to be in Australia and to attend the commemoration of the remembrance of the First World War.
Dans quelques jours, nous allons commémorer l'armistice 1918, quand les canons se turent enfin.
In few days, on the 11th of November, we will celebrate l'armistice from 1918. When the cannon when the war was stopped.
Après la mort de 17 millions de personnes et plus de 20 millions de blessés.
After 17 million of died people and 20 millions of hurt injured soldiers.
Un héritage qui ne sera jamais oublié.
That's an heritage that we will never forget.
Le 11 novembre 1918, une petite station radio australienne fut la première à savoir que la guerre avait pris fin.
On the 11th of November 1918, a small Australian radio, was the first one to know that the war has been finished.
C'est pour ne jamais oublier que nous venons nous recueillir en ce jour et pour renforcer les liens d'amitié commencés entre nos deux pays il y a 100 ans pendant la guerre.
It's really to never forget that we are coming here and that day today and reinforce the friendship bond which started between our two countries 100 years ago.
Je rends hommage aux soldats courageux qui ont donné leur vie à la recherche de la paix.
I really honor the soldiers, the very courageous and brave soldiers which just gave their life searching for the peace.
La France et Vignacourt n'oubliera jamais.
France and Vignacourt will never forget.
Donc je voudrais remercier officiellement les officiels de Baccarat Remember Association et surtout M. Grimbarnes.
I would like to thank warmly all the members of the Remembrance Committee of Baccarat and Greg Barnes.
Et puis je suis très touché pour le drapeau qui a été fait en une soirée.
He's really moved by the flag and which has been done in a night. It's really touching art.
Il va prendre une place très importante à Vignacourt.
He will definitely find a place of honor in Vignacourt.
Et avec 23 heures d'avion pour repartir, j'aurai le temps de réfléchir où on va le mettre.
With 23 hours to go back in France, you will have the time to think exactly where the flag will stand for.
Mais il aura une place vraiment importante pour Vignacourt.
You'll find a very, very special place. Sorry.
Merci à tous. Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you everybody for your attendance.
C'est ton histoire que tu écris, viens d'honorer tes valeurs, comme ce soldat qui a su vaincre sa peur. Dans ta région de Picardie, les champs sont semés de croix, et ta cathédrale témoin de nombreux combats. La Picardie, ils se sont battus pour toi, loin de chez eux, dans la terreur et le froid.
share between visiting both Vignacourt and Bundaberg, and it is a wonderful agreement, and it's great to have the Mayor here with his lovely wife Nathalie.
Excellent, and I suppose a long time ago, there's historic ties you've brought together.
Look, it has been certainly many years, but it's great to see it now taking place. And if there was ever a saying from small things, big things grow, this is a real symbolic day to be able to have that attachment to fathers and sons who lost their lives on the battlefields around Vignacourt, and be able to now have a physical attachment back to that particular area. When those soldiers returned to Vignacourt, they returned for friendship, for peace, for some form of normality. They came from private and agricultural areas, and Vignacourt is still that today. So I do encourage people to get together, to visit Vignacourt with the connection of the history, and to realise that we must never make the same mistakes.
Now, you've been invited to go over yourself. Is that a trip you'll be making?
Oh look, that's a matter for the whole of the council, and what we want to do is we want to encourage young children to go, and so they understand the sacrifice that their grandparents and family members made. We will do whatever we can, whether it be people visiting to understand the significance of the relationship, but we will work together with the Mayor of Vignacourt to ensure that that continues. It's a start, and but our main emphasis is getting the young children from the schools to do their projects here, and then physically go there and see the township and the topography and the harshness of what the soldiers would have experienced. And by doing that, we can understand the stupidity of conflict and war.
Excellent. So I think it's quite nice. Just before we begin, I'll just get your name and position. So,
Stephane Ducrotoy, agriculteur.
Stephane Ducrotoy, Mayor of Vignacourt, is a Vignacourt farmer.
Excellent. Now, can you tell me, you were quite moved when you saw this program, I suppose, happening. What motivated you to come to Bundaberg?
Vous avez été assez ému en fait quand vous avez parlé du programme, la façon dont vous avez accueilli, ça. Qu'est-ce qui vous a motivé en fait à venir ici à
Donc c'est Luna et Michael qui ont mis 4 ans pour me convaincre de venir parce que je n'avais pas de passeport, je n'ai jamais quitté la France. Donc, j'ai des animaux, donc je suis maire d'une commune, mais j'ai surtout des animaux. Et puis le voyage, c'était pour l'Australie, le bout du monde. Mais je ne regrette pas parce que c'est que là je me rends compte vraiment de la ferveur des Australiens.
Stephane Ducrotoy never went abroad before, so he just made a specifically passport to come here and visit Bundaberg region. He has been stimulating and encouraged by Donna and Michael as a farmer, it was difficult for him to decide on to leave his farm, but he's so happy that he made the effort to come because the welcome has been absolutely fantastic. And what he has discovered with people and schools, children, it's just amazing.
Excellent. And so, have you liked Bundaberg so far?
Oh, we do this one.
A lot.
On me l'avait expliqué, mais là je me rends moi-même et là je comprends très bien.
His assistants really told him how much Australians are enthusiastic about the project, but now you really realise and feel it, how big it is, and he's really glad he made it.
Mon discours de retour pour les habitants de Vignacourt, ce ne sera pas le même, ça viendra de là.
Is what he will take back with him and share with the resident of Vignacourt, which come from the heart, because whatever he has discovered here is
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
is it's an Irish blessing. So, boys and girls, you ready? Something pretty special, and between he and his colleagues at the time, we weren't quite sure what it was they had, but suddenly back came about a dozen images which actually formed the basis of the first report we put to air, I think. That's right. And the question was, well, are there more? And I said, yes, well, there are. And suddenly, as we began to understand the significance of the collection, we began to put it all to air. It took about a year to put the whole story to air before we finished, and then we were fortunate enough to acquire them, to bring them back to Australia, because as you know, the significance for us is immense, and for you, you now have a reason to come here.
Village of Vignacourt, historians are calling the collection priceless.
It is a real treasure that was there and no one knew about it, and I know they are amazed by the significance of it.
The town's mayor has given the key to the Vignacourt farmhouse to the Australian War Memorial. There's more.
Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemned. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Memorial, an icon expected to continue to play an important part in shaping our national identity for decades to come.
98 years on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, they came. More than 3,000 veterans, dignitaries and their families from around Australia and across the globe gathered at the Australian War Memorial to mark Remembrance Day. For many Canberrans, it's a deeply personal moment.
That's my father, telegram. He sent the first telegram when the Germans broke out. Paddy O'Brien, there he is, 18, and there he is, come back crippled, very crippled. He's a hero. He's in the first history of the first book. And we're personal friends of the Beans.
I joined the army 30 years ago today, so it's very important for me to remember the people that sacrificed their life, but also I served in the army myself for about 7.5 years.
Remembrance Day commemorates the armistice, the agreement that ended the First World War in 1918. But the day has come to mark the sacrifices of not only Australians, but veterans of all nations and cultures who served in conflicts around the globe.
My father served in the Second World War and uncle's in the Great War, and I served in Vietnam and Iraq, Afghanistan, Solomon Islands, Timor.
I'm a Polish ex-serviceman that served in Tobruk and Monte Cassino in France.
This year also marks the 75th anniversary of the opening of the Australian War Memorial, and though many of the veterans of the First and Second World War are no longer with us, it's expected the memorial and events like Remembrance Day will continue to be important to Australian culture.
This is truly the heartbeat of our nation here held in this institution, so to come here and pay our respects with my family is something that is quite an honour.
It's a different day today, of course. It's one of reflection and remembrance, and quite different to Anzac Day, but I think that solemn message still gets across, and to do that here as a national ceremony, I think is terrific. A message we ought never forget. Harry Frost, Win News.
Australian soil that lost their lives during the 13 years of Australia's involvement in the Afghan conflict.
He asked Australians to not only honour the dead, but also to help the living.
We do not have the right to ask these people to risk their lives for us, only then to abandon them when they need us most. We must declare war on veteran suicide.
Most welcomed the message behind the call to arms.
I think war is probably the wrong word in the context, but we need to take action and to take action now. And Remembrance Day needs to be about the wars of past, but it also needs to be about the men and women who live amongst us today who need a little bit more support.
The attention shift to younger veterans puts the whole nation on notice.
It isn't an opportunity to say, government, you're not doing the right thing. It's an opportunity to say, community and government need to work together for better outcomes, so that Jeff Kennett's speech is something we never have to hear again because we as a country have got it right.
So that the past lives in collective memory and returned soldiers can survive theirs. Siobhan Hingle, ABC News, Canberra.
One more. To the ancestors, past and present, to all the elders around, to all the families, to all the trees, to all the animals, to all the rocks, to all living things on this planet. Once our ceremony is over, we'll be starting our performance in about 3 minutes. Today we've got Ray on the didgeridoo.
Nathalie, this one's hungry. It's a rite of passage for an Aussie kid, hey?
You're not quite sure, are you?
I'm feeding the birds. Lady. Give it to Nathalie. Nathalie? Oh, ça fait mal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It bit my head. Sorry, your boss? Here, Nathalie. Here, Nathalie. Nathalie. Here, Nathalie.
If it is really wet, we'll have more birds here, as the rain will induct some of their natural food sources like pollen and nectar away from the flowering plants and trees. Secondly, any larger bird in the sky can stop them from flying down, and they do have a number of predators, namely birds of prey. So sometimes they will have what is called a flat flight. This occurs when one member of the group yells or trills out a warning message to all other birds.
Oh! Donna, look, look.
Pourquoi tu n'as rien, Michael?
Hello? Hello? You want some of this on your phone, mate? You don't?
Well, Mr. Mayor Stephane Ducrotoy, you have been in Australia now for about 6 days. It has been wonderful to have you here in Australia, telling the Vignacourt story and sharing your passion for the events in Vignacourt 100 years ago. Would you like to share a last message with us, please?
Merci de nous avoir invités en Australie, ma femme et moi, de nous avoir reçus aussi chaleureusement. Merci à vous tous pour votre gentillesse et votre simplicité. Nous sommes tombés amoureux de votre pays, de ses habitants. Notre amitié a commencé il y a plus de 100 ans, avec le sacrifice de vos soldats. Je tiens à ce que cette amitié perdure et ne cesse de grandir, avec les générations de demain. Vous avez sauvé notre liberté, pour cela nous sommes liés à jamais. Venez tous nous voir à Vignacourt, vous serez toujours les bienvenus et on saura vous recevoir. Encore un très grand merci pour votre hospitalité et votre sincérité. Merci Michael, merci Donna pour ce très beau séjour. Merci, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Stephane, we thank you also. It has been wonderful having you and your lovely wife Nathalie here. We wish you the best as you return to Vignacourt, and know that you have many Australian support in the future of Vignacourt, the museum, and all the future developments there. So merci beaucoup, back to you, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you in Vignacourt in 2017 for Anzac Day in Vignacourt. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
C'est ton histoire que tu écris, vient d'honorer tes valeurs, comme ce soldat qui a su vaincre sa peur. Dans ta région de Picardie, les champs sont semés de croix, et ta cathédrale témoin de nombreux combats. Et fier pour la gloire de nos aînés qui ont vécu l'enfer sur cette terre, terre de combat où sont tombés les corps, à jamais gravés en toi ce souvenir encore. C'est ton histoire que tu revis en comprenant la douleur de ces héros venus en libérateurs. Dans ta région, la Picardie, ils se sont battus pour toi, loin de chez eux, dans la terreur et le froid.